tonight, a grieving mother's search for answers. The mother of Richard Corrigan tells us of her loss after her son's body was found in an Essex pond.
I keep waking myself with the evidence. Wake up, I think you're still dreaming. Go check Richard in the room, he's sleeping. And I do that, but it's not a dream. It's not a nightmare, it's real.
Evidence, Joelle said her son's disappearance was completely out of character. Also on the programme, the dog owner who was powerless as her border collie was killed, but is now determined to change the law on so-called dog-on-dog attacks. Newham, a great place to live, except the murders, the giant artwork for Crossrail that's raising eyebrows, and
I have been swatting up on Harry Potter. I've read all the books and I've gone through them.
Calling all Slytherins, Harry Potter star Jason Isaacs joins us ahead of a truly spellbinding charity quiz. Good evening. The mother of missing teenager Richard Corrigan has described her devastation after it was confirmed the body of her son was found in an Essex pond. Evidence, Joelle, said Richard had been her oxygen. For more than 2 weeks, she had tried to keep hope that he was alive while pleading for help in finding him. The Metropolitan Police have referred their handling of the case to the independent watchdog. This afternoon, Evidence told our reporter Carolyn Sim she is searching for answers and shared video of Richard.
This was Richard Corrigan at the start of 2020, the year he'd begin studying at Oxford University, his whole future to look forward to.
There's not a day that goes by that my son doesn't tell me, "Mommy, I love you. Mommy, drive safely. Don't drive too fast." He cares so much. He was so protective.
But when the pandemic hit, Richard, who had sickle cell disease, had to shield. University moved online. Months of isolation began.
Although he didn't say, but I'm sure it was horrible for him. He couldn't go out. And he was afraid to give or to catch COVID anyway. I'm sure definitely that had an impact.
But Richard's sudden disappearance on Monday, the 22nd of March, was completely out of character. He'd left the family home that evening and taken a bus to West London.
There was no sign of agitation. It was just normal. He said to me, "Mommy, are you going to work now?" I said, "Yes, my dad." He said, "Well, drive safely."
The last known sighting of him was in the early hours of Tuesday, the 23rd, walking in Loughton towards Epping Forest.
Richard had no reason to be in that area. I just feel strongly that I don't know what happened in the room or in the computer while he was talking to somebody. I don't know. But I told the police that I needed closure. Something happened. It's a mystery.
On Monday, police search teams found a body in a lake in Epping Forest. Yesterday, they confirmed it was his.
He was a darling, you know. He was the reason why I live. Richard that I know will not hurt his mother, you know. He will not hurt his mom. Because he loves me and I love him. Richard will not hurt his mom.
Richard's family is now raising money to help with his funeral costs and to build a foundation in his name to give young people support with their mental health. Carolyn Sim, ITV News.
That was Carolyn Sim speaking to Evidence, Joelle. And if you've been affected by any of the issues in that interview, do go to our website where there are suggestions of support. Next tonight, it's an agony too many mums in the capital share, the grief and anger of losing a son to knife crime. Now, 5 bereaved mothers have come together to urge Londoners to speak up. A hard call to make, they know, but nothing compared to the phone calls they had to endure when their sons were killed. Our senior correspondent, Ronke Phillips, has more.
I called my auntie to let her know that Kamari's been stabbed.
It's a video which captures the raw emotion a mother who has lost a son to knife crime experiences as they pass the news of the murder to other family members.
I called my mum and I said, "Mum,
Dwayne's been stabbed.
Dwayne Simpson was stabbed to death on the Angel Town estate in Brixton. It took detectives 3 months to find his killer because he was being protected and hidden by friends. The message from Dwayne's mother is knife crime will only end if local communities play their part.
It's more than the police. We need the whole community to really, step up and, make that call. It's very painful. We're reliving everything, but the cost and the value of life that we can save, it's worth us going through this.
After my Archie was murdered, I had to call up about getting him embalmed. That should never be a sentence a mum should have to say.
Becky Beston's son Archie was stabbed to death in Kingston by a habitual knife carrier. It's just over a year since her son died, but the grief of losing him has not got any easier.
Every single day is torture. I wake up in Archie's bed and it takes me hours to get out of his bed because I just lay there wishing I was dead every single day, and that's not an exaggeration.
The Hard Calls Save Lives campaign is targeted directly at people living in areas affected by violent crime. It purposely features mothers to inspire women in the community to use their influence to stop young men they know carrying knives, and if they can't persuade them, to report them.
We're saying to people in our communities, let's stop knife crime together. This is the Met's #1 priority, and we know that people out in streets and estates, in their homes, have information that would be useful.
I rang my sister.
These are the mothers who have lost their sons to knife crime. But despite their pain, they are speaking out to prevent other mothers suffering in the same way.
We need zero tolerance on knife crime.
Ronke Phillips, ITV News.
There has been a sharp fall in the number of coronavirus cases in the capital and the southeast. Data from Imperial College London's REACT study shows a fall of around 60% across England from February to March. Infection rates across all age groups are going down. The vaccine has been praised for helping to break the link between infection rates and people going into hospital. The Foreign Secretary has joined the criticism of Myanmar's embassy in Mayfair after it locked out the country's ambassador. Kyozwa Min says he was not allowed inside after staff were there received instructions from back home. He ended up spending the night in his car. The ambassador had remained supportive of Myanmar's elected government, which was ousted by the military 2 months ago. Next, to a row about a mural covering a Crossrail wall in Newham. It's expected to be Europe's longest art project and is supposed to showcase what people think of the area. So what could possibly be the problem? Well, the writing on the wall refers to crime and murder. Our political correspondent Simon Harris is here. What's this all about, Simon?
Well, this is the extraordinary story of a 2-kilometre-long mural called the Newham Trackside Wall, which was commissioned by Crossrail to celebrate the Elizabeth Line, London's flagship transport project, which is a mere £4 billion over budget and at least 3 years late. With that sort of pedigree, you might ask, what could possibly go wrong? Well, the mural includes a poem which praises North Woolwich and likens it to a village. It has everything, all in one small area, and everyone knows everyone. The only negative thing is the crime and the murders, which has been increasing. Unsurprisingly, that hasn't gone down well with Newham Council, which wants that part of the mural cancelled. We had a statement a short time ago from Newham Council which said the council strongly believes that the mural does not reflect the borough. We want Newham to be a place where people want to live, work and visit. We do not want to give the impression that it is unsafe to do so. Well, a short time ago, we spoke to the man who's ultimately in charge of Crossrail, the Transport Commissioner, Andy Byford.
Well, I've only just become aware of that mural that's being put up as part of the Crossrail project. My focus is very much on getting the project finished and getting the railway open. I've asked the Crossrail team to have a look at it. I'm aware of the issue and we'll report back once we know what the plan is.
Tonight, Doncun, I understand that offending part of the mural is going to be covered up while Crossrail bosses decide what to do next after talking to the artist and the local community.
OK, Simon, thank you very much. An Enfield woman whose beloved border collie was brutally attacked by another dog says she is determined to change the law. Emma Gambrill had to watch in horror as her dog Blue was set upon and died. But to Emma's shock, the dog was deemed not dangerous and no criminal action was taken against its owners because dog-on-dog attacks are not an offence. She wants that to change, and more than 100,000 others agree. Anton Allen has Emma's story.
I was panic-stricken and, like I say, absolutely petrified.
Emma's walks with her dog will never be the same.
Good boy.
On the 7th of March, Emma's border collie Blue was attacked by two dogs that had escaped a garden.
They literally ran across the road and initially went for Blue's throat. I think fight mode set in for me, so I tried to turn and get the dog off, and then the dog just clamped onto Blue's back.
Blue was left unable to walk and heavily wounded. He later died from his injuries. Yet Emma was unable to get Blue justice. Dogs attacking other pets is not considered a criminal offence.
I think I just wanted recognition that the dogs were out of control. The owners had no responsibility, there was no recall, and I wanted them to acknowledge that actually it was a crime because we have now lost our family pet.
Emma's petition to change the law has already received over 120,000 signatures.
Now it is just absolutely flying. Other dog owners are saying that as a dog owner you should be responsible, and they are willing for it to be a criminal offence, dog-on-dog attacks to be a criminal offence.
Emma's local MP is supporting her petition to be debated in Parliament.
With police resources already stretched between investigating protests, disappearances and knife crime, is it right to ask them to also look at animal attacks?
The police resources are stretched, of course, but where incidents like this happen, we do need police powers to be able to deal with it. So both resources, in terms of putting more resources into it, also making sure that there are the powers to actually enable them to do something about it.
Right, come in, let's go.
Emma has to overcome her trauma each time she walks her remaining dog. She hopes her petition will make dog owners more responsible. Anton Allen, ITV News.
Still to come, we have the weather forecast, plus why you can see more in the sky than you used to. And prepare to be charmed. We'll be joined by Harry Potter's Lucius Malfoy, that's Jason Isaacs. He's hosting a spellbinding quiz for charity. But first, of all the things missed over the last year, for many, gyms is high up there. The impact of their closure has been big, not just on fitness, but on mental health too. So there's much excitement that from Monday, London's gyms can get the treadmills plugged in and welcome customers back, albeit with quite a few rules in place. Here's Rags Martel.
The countdown has started. Gyms are getting ready to get out of lockdown.
How excited are you for the gyms reopening?
Everyone's ecstatic. It'll be really nice to just get things moving again, to see colleagues, to see members, and just to have things back to feeling a bit more normal.
But there's a new normal here. Yellow signs remind people to keep their distance.
We are COVID secure, we tick every box for that, so it is different. You have to book in advance, you come on your own, you should come gym ready. And basically you train and you leave, and you have to make sure that you wipe down all the equipment after you've used it, and generally it's about looking after yourself and looking after your fellow users.
Izzy Tobin has been waiting to get back into the gym for months. She's missed it for her body and her mind.
I think it's absolutely critical to mental health for so many people. I think it's amazing how good you can feel just doing a workout in your day, how it can change your entire mindset so quickly. But from people I've been talking to, the general consensus is everyone needs to get in quick as it's booking out fast. Everyone's excited to get back.
But locking down the gym has come at a huge financial cost.
How hard has it been just closing everything down for such a long time?
Well, it's a nightmare. As you can imagine, it's a nightmare for the business, it's a nightmare for our people, and it's a nightmare for the community. We've burnt all our reserves in the last 12 months. So we went from being a financially strong company. We had 20 million quid in the bank, and now we've got nothing. We're living off bank loans.
Cleaner and leaner financially, gyms will reopen on Monday, cautiously taking one step at a time. Rags Martel, ITV News, Clapham.
Celebrities from London are featuring in films alongside Holocaust survivors to mark Holocaust Remembrance Day. Stars of entertainment, TV and sport, including Baroness Karen Brady and snooker player Ronnie O'Sullivan, are some of the well-known faces taking part, teaming up with the charity March of the Living UK to make a series of inspirational and educational films. Actor and comedian Matt Lucas met 93-year-old survivor Harry Ulmer.
It's so important to remember the Holocaust, as Harry himself has said repeatedly. I've really seen an extraordinary glimpse into the power of the human spirit there. He's a survivor. You know, if we forget these stories, if we forget what happened and how and why, we're at risk of it repeating itself.
3 men have been rescued from a fire at a property in Walthamstow. 8 fire engines and around 60 firefighters were called to Hoe Street this morning. The fire was then brought under control. The public are being advised to avoid the road as well as the Forest Road junction. Chelsea bounced back from their heavy defeat against West Bromwich Albion with a commanding 2-0 away win over Porto in the Champions League last night. Mason Mount's clever turn put the Blues in the lead late in the first half. Ben Chilwell then scored a second, giving manager Thomas Tuchel's side a convincing lead going into the second leg at Stamford Bridge. Now, robes and quills at the ready for what's being described as the ultimate Harry Potter quiz. Thousands of fans across the wizarding world are expected to join in online for the quiz, which will raise money for the British Red Cross.
Don't touch anything, Draco.
Yes, Father.
It's being hosted by one of the film's stars. Hello to Jason Isaacs, sometimes known as Lucius Malfoy, and you're in the Great Hall, aren't you? Brilliant.
I am. I've been lighting candles all day just for this interview.
We appreciate it so much. This quiz has got people very, very excited, not least most of our production crew.
Good. Well, it's not just for Harry Potter fans. It's for, frankly, it's for anybody who wants to do something different on a Sunday night other than argue with the rest of their family about what to watch on telly. It's a way, yes, of raising money for an incredibly good cause, the British Red Cross, who do extraordinary things in every walk of British life, particularly now in the last year. But mostly, for me anyway, it's a way of giving something back and allowing people to compete against their children and their friends, dress up and break the monotonous cycle that we're all stuck in.
And you're not just asking the questions, is that right? You've got a few tricks up your sleeve.
Well, you know, people have done a lot of quizzes over the last year. I've, in fact, hosted quite a few quizzes. So we're going to break it up. There'll be requests. There'll be a bunch of unpleasant things that people can vote on for me to do. There'll be prizes. You can send in photographs of what you look like dressed up. We'll give prizes for those things. I will try and call some of my Harry Potter mates without giving them heads up that I'm going to call them. We'll see if anyone answers. And yeah, I'm going to try and look, I'm flying hopefully to America, and I will be stuck in a hotel room somewhere. So I'm hoping that the great British public and people from all around the world will both, if they feel inclined, donate to this great cause. You don't have to. And they can entertain me as much as I entertain them. That's the plan.
And this is a cause, of course, that is close to your heart, the Red Cross.
Well, actually, it's close to everybody's heart in Britain. You just don't realise it. The Red Cross, I've been privileged enough to see the work that they do here and abroad a lot. And we're all aware of the fact that when there's an emergency somewhere or a disaster, the Red Cross are there. But what you may not know, and the people watching may not know, is that when you come home from hospital, they aid the NHS out. They have crews riding with ambulances. They've been helping people get the jab. They've been actually giving the jab. They help you if your house burns down, if it's flooded. They're the ones that will find you food and shelter. They're helping the lonely. They're feeding the hungry. They're absolutely everywhere, both the employees and the extraordinary army of volunteers for the Red Cross. And like every charity, their workload has more than quadrupled. It's gone up exponentially over the last year, and their income has dribbled away because people are anxious about money. So if you feel inclined, it'll just be a few quid, or you can donate a £5 or whatever you might have spent somewhere else. It won't cost too much. If you feel like giving a lot, you can, but at least we're all being part of the solution. It's very easy to be part of the problem. You can watch news programs like your own, even without criticizing, and you can feel the weight of dark clouds gathering. And Sunday night is a way of hopefully dispelling the clouds.
Yeah, that's what we need. So it is for a fantastic cause. But of course, as you were describing, it's going to be fun. And we wondered if we could have a little bit of fun with you. You're going to be the quizmaster on Sunday.
Uh-oh.
Will you let me be the quizmaster for a couple of questions now? What were the names of Draco Malfoy's henchmen?
I've got my wand here. Oh, Crab and Goyle.
Brilliant. Number 2.
I know
what
them.
fictional animal was Buckbeak?
Buckbeak was not a dragon, a thing. I'll know it the second we get off. There's people screaming at the screen all the time.
It was a hippogriff.
That's what I meant. I was about to
yes,
say
I
that.
know you meant
There's
it.
a delay on this thing. Hippogriff. This is a
Last
strange
one.
delay
What
on the
item of
microphone.
clothing freed Dobby?
A G-string. No, it was my sock. I'll tell you a story about that, and hopefully I'll tell many other stories on Sunday if I can remember them. But Daniel Radcliffe had to put his leg up and show that he'd taken his sock off. But Daniel, being a particularly mature young man, playing, I think, 13 at the time, but maybe being 15, had to shave his leg, which was quite itchy and quite uncomfortable. Very manly. He's always been very manly.
If you need any help, Jason, on Sunday night, those questions were set by super producer Grace.
Thank you, Grace. We do need help.
Combined. She could be your assistant.
There'll be questions,
then.
by the way. It doesn't matter if you know every punctuation mark. There'll be some questions you couldn't possibly know because I'll be making them up based on things that only I know. So there'll be some guesswork. But I expect to see you there Sunday night.
I'll be there. It sounds like a fantastic evening for a fantastic course. Jason Isaacs, thank you so much and good luck with it.
Thanks very much. I've got a bloke.
Finally, the stars are out in London and showing themselves off more than ever, not the celebrity kind, but the astronomical. Lockdown has meant a reduction in the lights polluting the skies above, meaning we can see further and clearer. So good news for stargazers, but will it last? Our own bright star, Sally, went to Greenwich to find out.
A starry sky is often there. We just can't always see it. For here in London, it's light pollution that tends to shine the brightest. But what is it?
Light pollution is artificial light where it's not needed, and satellite maps from a few years ago showed that the City of London, just over there, had the highest intensity of light spilling into the night skies in the country.
Yeah, that's it.
Go on, Daddy, go. But this year, lockdown has left us a little in the dark, quite literally. Stargazers doing the countryside charity's Star Count found that in February last year, 87% saw less than 10 stars in the Orion constellation, and no one counted more than 30. But this year, only 75% saw less than 10 stars, and nearly 4% counted more than 30.
So we've still got severe light pollution, haven't we, in London? But how pleased were you with the findings this year?
Yeah, I was surprised. I was analysing all the data. I thought, OK, this is really interesting.
So a quiet lockdown meant fewer lights and more stars. Their star map here showed 12, for example, were spotted from Bromley.
Emma, why should we care about light pollution? Obviously, it's nice to look at the stars, but is that all it is? Is it just aesthetic?
I mean, not only is it creating a mask, a veil across the night sky, so disconnecting people from part of all of our heritage, but it's also a waste of money and energy as well.
So this is our great equatorial telescope. We use it for the public can view the moon and other objects through it. You can take a look.
The lens cap is on. It's completely black in here.
Hannah is an astronomer in Greenwich with a good tip for spotting stars in light-polluted London.
Just lying down, so to block out any direct street lights from your eyes, that's enough to make a significant difference. You'll notice that after around 20 minutes or so, your eyes adapt to the darkness and you'll be able to see even more than you initially could.
With lockdown ending, light pollution will return, but it's given campaigners for darker skies fuel to lobby for better city lighting so that we can all see to infinity and beyond.
And Sally is back now with the forecast.
Making the most of it, whatever the weather. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Hello there and good evening. I hope you've had a lovely day. We've been sent some great photos of some battles in the capital. Look at this one in Bushy Park. You wouldn't want to be anywhere near that, would you? And I love this one. These two fighting over a stick. I'm not sure who had it first, but apparently the little one won and now has a very huge stick in its nest. Now, weather-wise, we had a fair bit of cloud around today. We've got more tomorrow and some patchy rain possibly as well. It's slightly warmer out there. I hope you felt it. Not warm, but slightly warmer. And then as we go towards Saturday and Sunday, it is going to be feeling colder and a bit unsettled at times. And here's what's going on for the weekend. We have got this front to the south of us, and that could well send in some rain, possibly something even a little bit wintry. It's a bit uncertain though, so keep an eye on the forecast. And then by Sunday, we've got that northerly airflow return, that Arctic air, so it'll probably feel even colder on Sunday than Saturday. Returning to tonight, we have got still a fair bit of cloud out there. In some areas, that cloud might be thick enough just to give the odd spitter spot of rain, but otherwise, some clear breaks as we go through towards dawn, so perhaps a little bit chilly tomorrow morning, maybe just the odd localised pocket of frost. And then the best of any brightness first thing, but it does look like it's going to be a pretty cloudy day. All in all, we've got this cold front sinking south, bringing that cloud with it, and some patchy rain at times as well. Temperature-wise, it's going to be warmer ahead of that front, similar to today, highs of 11 to 12, but we've got colder air behind it, so it will be chillier in the north as we go through the afternoon. And in the evening, you can see fairly similar, that rain possibly even becoming a little bit more persistent as we go through the night. So as I said, unsettled for Saturday, perhaps some brighter spells and some more showers at times on Sunday, colder, but improving for the start of next week. That's it. I'll see you later on. Cheerio.
Octopus Energy sponsors ITV London weekday weather.
Thank you, Sally. And that's how it's looking. We're back with the latest after news at 10. Coming up, Charlene with the ITV Evening News. But from me and the rest of the London team, have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.